Welcome to episode 7 of Research Without Tears. In this episode, we're going to be talking about doing your quotes. And I guess I should say, when I say quotes in this video, I mean quotes, paraphrases, and summaries, anything that you're going to use to turn in to show me that your research has already started. So it's really important to stay on time, and you could even do these early when you do your sources, and then you'd be ahead. They're very important, so I'm going to talk first about why they're important. So they're important firstly because it's the original indication I have that you see how your sources and your quotes work together. I'm asking you to do another works cited list that works only with the quotes that you're turning in, and I need to see that you're getting how they work together. So the point of MLA is that I can read your quotes, your paraphrases, or your summaries, and then I can easily find them on the works cited list. So that's what we're kind of checking. So I or any reader then will be able to trace your evidence back to its source, which is the heart of MLA, that out in the world somebody can replicate your research. So it's very important that I check on this early on the process. So theoretically and really, I do go back and trace your quotes sometimes to the sources that are on your works cited list, and I double check them. So it's especially important that it be correct. So how do you choose to do what quotes, and then how do you actually do them? So for the content of these, you hopefully have been filling out note cards. And your note cards are in two piles. You have some note cards with sources, which we've talked about already, and then you have note cards with content. And you're going to be filling in the content and a little note about what author or what website each one came from. We're going to go over all this in class, and then you'll also see demonstrations in this video. And you're going to choose 10 of your note cards. You can choose them pretty much at random, or you can have some method for choosing them. And I ask probably in most classes for 2 or more sources to be represented, or I may not ask that. Maybe you can take them all from one source, but then I don't see that you're out there looking for sources. So usually I ask for a couple of different sources, and they'll all relate, hopefully, to some question that's on the assignment sheet. The content of your paper needs to be represented there. So that's the content card. So the format, when you turn them in, you want to type them or write them, and you're going to use some internal citation style from the MLA handout so that each one has an internal citation. And you probably, if we're doing 10 quotes, usually I ask for 10 quotes, use 2 of each of those formats so that I can see you practicing each format. And then you want some kind of parenthetical citation. And you can maybe even label the formats, you know, author with author in front of quote with parenthetical page number, and then you can give 2 quotes for that, and then you can go on to the next one. So you're just going to either write them or type them. Be very careful to get the formats right. If you're doing the longer format, put it in some kind of an indented format, and then you're going to do a new works cited list. It should be a new page, or if you want to save paper, the back of a sheet that you've already used. And for this one, when you're doing it to go with your sources, you're only going to put on it the sources you actually use for the quotes, paraphrases, and summaries that you're turning in. You're not going to put everything on it. You're just going to have it exactly match whatever is being used in your actual quotes. And you may have other sources later. In fact, usually you will, because you're only using a couple here, and usually I ask you to use 5 or 4 or something. But right now you don't need them. So I check that for everything on your works cited list, there's at least 1 quote or 2 on your quote sheet. And then I check for every quote, it has some listing on the works cited list. And the way that I check that is I look at your internal citation and say the last name of the author is Sanchez, and it's page 221. I immediately go over to your works cited list and I look for Sanchez there. And if it's not listed by Sanchez, then as far as I'm concerned, it's not there. So the 2 have to match exactly. Whatever's in parentheses, Sanchez in this case, has to be what you're listing it by on the works cited list. That's actually kind of an important point. So good luck, have fun, bring me a rough draft so that I can look it over with you, and ask for help when you need it.